All right, we are officially live. We are live. We are live. We are live on YouTube. And we are also live on Instagram. So,
hold on,
what's scooted over? Okay, I got you. You in there like swimwear, sis?
No.
Oh wow, we got y'all.
Well, they can't see yet anyway.
They can't. Yeah, well, they can't see. I'm gonna move this back over this way. We're gonna get it together. I promise.
Look at this belly.
Look at that belly. Look at that belly. Look at that belly.
You and I do that, and I had on the same shirt last.
Stop. Okay, what's going on YouTube, Instagram? What's going on, everybody out there watching? So we're gonna be consistently looking like back and forth. Wait a minute. We gotta.
This one.
We're still waiting on one, so just bear
Loading.
with us. We load, but to all of my followers that are tuned in or that are watching. Sis got somebody watching on her Instagram.
Oh, hey sister.
Hey sister. Hi sister. So we hope everybody's having a good day. It feels good. No, it didn't. It feels good outside today, so we hope everybody is having a good and productive Saturday. We're trying to get hers to act right. I don't know what's going on her end. Her thingy is okay. Type your stuff again real quick.
Okay. We're live. You can.
We're having some little technical difficulties on her YouTube video. Her streaming or whatever. Sorry about that. We had to pause for a picture. But we had to pause for a picture. But we are rebooting hers back up. There we go. And we are officially live. So What's up? Everybody? What's up? We got 4 different cameras going on, 4 different streams going on right now. So we are going live to first. Let me introduce myself. Welcome to the Real Talk. That's what we're going to call our YouTube shows. Of course, we have lives. We are busy people, so we're going to try to do videos every week if possible. Or every other week. But the show is called the Real Talk. So welcome to the Real Talk, everybody. I'm Jeremy, it's your boy Jeremy. Yeah, I'm Jeremy. I have several different nicknames. I refuse to name all of them, but everybody
name them.
But to make it easier for everybody, you can just call me Jay, or you can call me Rude Boy. It don't matter. All right, but yeah, I'm Jeremy.
I'm Shay or Sherika. I'm not gonna go through the many nicknames either.
So we've been talking about it for some time about starting YouTube videos. It's like, we see people do it all the time. So let's do YouTube videos. And life never tends to allow us to make that happen. If we're not busy with work and school, because if you don't know, both of us are in school. I'm in school to be a teacher. And
well,
what are you in school for again?
It's just psychology right now. It's liberal arts and humanities. And I'm going for my bachelor in psychology, and but I plan to have a residential care home. So just knowing how to take care of people mentally as well as physically. Yes.
Speaking of mentally, that's going to be the topic for this episode of Real Talk. The topic is going to be depression. Why don't we talk about it? And it kind of coincides with the whole mental illness ordeal. So let's get at it. Why don't we talk about depression? Why do you think people don't talk about depression?
I think because they're more focused on masking it usually too. You don't want people to really know what you're going through, why you're depressed, or how bad the depression is usually, because it gets really, really bad. Points where you could be crying all day. Sad all day.
Been there, done that.
You don't even go out to outings with your friends, and
it's just a lot.
Yeah, and I wrote some pointers down too. Different things.
Be on top of it. For me, there are certain moments where I deal with depression where it's like I'll be depressed like days, a week, 2 weeks at a time, and it's more so much as you don't really. Well, I can't speak on other people's behalf, but for me, I don't really talk about it because it's like I have to be careful with who I talk to those things. Yeah. Talk about those things too with, if that makes sense. Like I gotta be careful who I say it to. Yeah. Because it's like sometimes it's like you know people there and I know people be wanting help, but it's like if you don't legit understand the situation or legit understand the struggle, how could you you be there or relate a comfort, you know? Uh-huh. That's how it is for me. You know what I mean? I know it's different for everybody, but for me that's how it is for me.
Yeah. And I think with me, like when I went through it before, I didn't really talk about it because I was more focused on getting past it. But at the same time, my little circle of friends, 9 times out of 10 did know. Mm-hmm. Because I did, I wanted their support without really saying it. I wanted them to come over every day. I wanted us to do something every day. I just needed company. Yeah. Because I didn't want to be by myself with my thoughts.
And that's like the God of the shoe. That's really like the hardest part for you. Like, and the thing about it is the friends that really just know you, they'll detect when something's wrong. Like, you know when something wrong with me. It is like you say, you just sometimes you want people to just be around you, but not directly say nothing. And a lot of people don't understand it. It's not so much as you don't want to say nothing. It's sometimes you just don't really know how to say it.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that's why a lot of people are kind of closed in about things that they're depressed about depression in general, is because they don't really know how to talk to somebody else, or they don't know who to go to, or they just don't know how to approach the situation.
And that's kind of where I have came up with the point of how you can also be depressed and unaware of it too. Like,
that is so true.
You can, you don't even really realize some of the things you're doing just because you're so focused on living day in, day out, just doing what you got to do on a regular daily basis, and not taking time out for yourself to care about your mental health, to care about, unless it's a more severe case, of course you can notice it if you're crying every day or if you're sad every day. But other than that, a lot of times it can go unnoticed, but you might do little things like mistreat your friends or your family, like because of the fact that you don't want to go around them. You don't want to talk to nobody. You just want to stay to yourself. And I think that's a big thing that people that are unaware can do.
It definitely is. Mm-hmm. It definitely is. And that just kind of all goes back to sometimes people don't say nothing. It's because they don't know how to say it.
Yeah. And that's usually someone that considers themselves a strong person. Otherwise, like whenever they're not going through stuff. And I think I would consider myself like a strong person because I also tend to get over things really fast. I don't like to dwell in any problems that I have because I feel like there's no point. I feel like you got to just keep moving on, do what you got to do. And, that can be ignoring the fact that you are really depressed or dealing with some type of depression. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, everyone's not even capable of just moving on like that.
Like they're not. And then that just all goes back to how people on the outside look in. Like if you don't really understand what this person is dealing with or what somebody's dealing with, period, you can't just give your input on a situation. Mm-hmm. Like you can't, like,
because there's so many different causes of depression. Like I think a major one is childhood, like, and I'm saying this because I've had friends confide in me later in our adult lives about things they went through as a child and like how they're low-key traumatized from it because of just they can't get over it. And you're looking at them like, well, dang, that's like over 10, 15 years ago,
But I mean, you have people that hold on to like scars from childhood. That really just make me think about I don't know if you saw it, and I don't know if any of y'all saw it as well. Just recently the Braxtons was on Ayala Fix My Life.
I saw it.
And of course the infamous Tamar.
That's how I saw Tamar.
Tamar. She didn't want to, but then like I realized something that I feel like all of them kind of realized is that the fact that they parents kind of, I guess you could say, kind of lied about the divorce.
Yeah.
It affected her. And I mean that in a way, I can't say in a way because I've never had to deal with that, but it's like I get it. You know, something happened to her, and that's just a hurt and a pain that she's never just let go. And honestly, I feel like there probably have been moments where she has been like stupid, depressed, and didn't know how to approach her sisters or know how to approach anybody to talk about it. So she just be extra.
Yeah.
So she just be Tamar.
And she didn't agree with that at first, but she came to her senses and she saw, you know, and she's clearly one of those people that can't move on from things fast, like that dwell on it and think about it all the time and allow it to bother them. Like it's depression. Getting over depression is one of those things that is easier said than done. Like
it is, because I'm telling you, when I have moments when I'm depressed, it's like I just can't. I can't sit there and just be like, okay, life goes on.
Yeah, life
don't go on, because it's like whatever it is that has me in that mindset. It's like nothing. There's no life goes on. Yeah. You know, you can't just ignore the fact, oh, well, I got this bill finna be cut off. I can't do nothing about it. Well, I done lost my job. I don't know how the heck I'm gonna pay my rent, supply for myself. And, you know, life don't just go on.
That's kind of like a double standard in a way, because life does go on, or it can go on.
But at the same time, you can't just ignore it. The fact that it's there.
You can't. And I think that's what will help you feel like you have to move forward, because you can't sit up there and think about, okay, how am I going to pay this bill every day? You can't think about it. You have to figure out a solution, because you need, especially if it's something like your lights or water, you know, a necessity. You have to figure it out.
Exactly. And you know, I honestly think that's what it is. It's more so much as you trying to figure it out how it's going to get done versus actually being worried about the consequence from it, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's more so on that type of level. But I mean, it happens.
And that's where one of the points I said too, like how you can't beat yourself up, because you are human. You're allowed to make mistakes.
Yeah, definitely.
Things happen. And you know, I look at it more as growing from it. Everything I've went through in life, I literally consider myself growing from it. Whenever I move on to the next phase in my life or something like that, I grew from whatever I went through. And that's everybody's case, whether you notice it or not. You're growing from it, you know, because next time that decision comes about, you're probably going to do something different. You're not going to do the same thing you did last time, because you don't want the same result.
You ain't going to do the same thing you did the last time.
Yeah. So, you know, just you learn from it, you grow from it. And
that's just life.
Yeah.
And that's just life.
I think like having discussions like this helps. Like, talk about it. Like, if you're going through something, talk about it, you know, because you never know what the next person has to say.
Exactly.
Or what they can even bless you with. Exactly. Not saying that you should go around looking for blessings, but you just never know, you know.
Yeah, that's right. You never know.
You never know.
And to anybody that's watching this, whether you're on my stream, whether you're on her stream, even if it's a random person on the street, talk about it.
Yeah.
You know,
it's okay.
What I've come to learn, because the one thing about me, I guess you can say I'm a very strong-minded person, and I'm not one of those people that's quick to talk about my problems. Well, what I'm learning is that you have to talk about it.
Yeah, sometimes
you have to.
Like,
I trust and believe when I say I know it's hard. I know I completely understand it's hard.
Especially if you're a private person.
Yeah. And you know me, I'm a private person.
Me too. I was going to say, because
I'm a real private person.
I've never done anything like this. Like Instagram, Snapchat, all that kind of stuff. You know, my Snapchat is mostly a foodie channel. Like I literally only post food.
Pretty much.
And on Instagram, they get whatever I decide to put up, just like anybody else. You know, whatever you decide to show the world, that's what you post. You know, I've never even thought about opening up, but I've always wanted to talk to people and open up like a platform for other people that feel the same way to talk to me about it. And, you know, so here we are now, I guess. We finally got to that point where we can do that.
Just talk to somebody about it, you know. Even if you gotta, you know, click on our names just to DM us or send us an email or something. Like one thing about me, I'm a people person. I love to talk to people. I love to talk to people. So I don't mind talking to people. I mean, I know some of y'all may know me, some of y'all may not know me, you know, but I'm open to talking to people. Because the thing about it is when you're depressed, you really feel like you don't have anyone.
Yeah, you
feel like you're alone. You feel like you enclosed in this little box and you like a cement, and you just really like you don't see a way out. And it's hard.
Yeah,
like it's hard.
Staying in that little box, you know, brings up things like suicide or things like you want to harm yourself or even others around you. Yeah. And that's the point you don't want to make it to.
Absolutely,
you don't want to make it to that point because I mean, it's not solving anything. Like it's literally temporary. You know, like you do it and it solves the problems for that time being, and that's it. You know, say you were to come back to life, the problems are still there. So it's like another solution should be made. You know, and then I guess it's just very sad, you know, to see people even revert to that and
it is
and feel that way, you know. And I've known people that attempted and felt that way, felt like they should and attempted to do suicide, you know. And it's like, how do you react to that? And you don't really even know unless you've been in that predicament. And like, as far as speaking for myself, I've never wanted to commit suicide, but it crossed my mind in a sense. And when I was going through my little time some years back, what crossed my mind was, well, how would people feel if I just left? Like if I just wasn't here, fuck it. But I didn't say, okay, I'm finna kill myself, you know. But to me, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's just as worse.
Yeah, it's the same thing, you know. And you don't want to allow your mind to even revert to that or go that far. So you should talk about it, open up about it, confide in someone.
And then honestly, a lot of the times it's not so much as people's mind reverting to it. It's just like, well, I mean, it is, but it's like sometimes just that initial thought is too late for some people.
Yeah.
So that's why it's good for you to find somebody to actually talk about it with, because it's hard. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of stress. Just the thoughts about it is a lot of pressure itself. You know, like that's a lot of pressure on a person and enough stress on a person itself. Just thinking about it. Because that's more thoughts on top of what, you know, you already worried or thinking about or whatever else is getting to you. Yeah. So
and like I didn't really think of too many ways to like beat depression or try to get past it. But one of the things I was looking at that I wrote down is it's okay to have some me time. Like find out what it is that you really enjoy doing and do it by yourself. You know, even if it's something as simple as taking a walk, like you'll be surprised at how clear your mind will get when you're doing something you enjoy doing. You know, and it's important to spend time with yourself, just as it is important to spend time with friends and family that care about you. You know, not someone that's judgmental, of course.
I can't stand judgmental people.
No, you don't want to be around that. You do not want to be around.
I mean, because it's like when you already dealing with a lot in life, you want to surround yourself with people that bring you positive energy and good vibes.
Yeah.
When you depressed, you don't want to be around nobody just like oh, well, you know, you already knew what you was getting yourself into. Well, first of all, I didn't ask that. That's not what I asked. I'm coming to you, confiding you about my problems because I'm letting you, that's my way of reaching out, letting you know I need a friend right now. You know, I need somebody that's going to bring a little sunshine to my day. Somebody that's going to help build me up. Not somebody that's going to make me feel worse about the situation. Like, I don't like
you know
when
what you did.
Yeah,
you know,
you're
not a child.
No,
you know, you're well aware of it, but it's just that you want to talk to someone. You want to confide in someone about it.
Yeah,
and as you should, you know, you really should.
Like back in 2015, I lost a really good friend of mine who's like a sister to me, and I did go through a little moment of depression. Like I was depressed for a while. When I say a while, I mean like a few weeks at a time. And one thing that I did that I used to do in high school that I found that was real helpful was writing. You know, even if it's just so much as writing out how my day was. You know, that's a little something off. You know, off your noggin, you know, relieve a little pressure off you. And thank you for the comment. Someone commented on my sister's live and said sometimes you just need someone to listen and not judge. And that's so true. That's another thing. You know, find somebody that you know will be a really good listener. You know, tell them, you know, you don't want any feedback or anything, just somebody to just let it all, you know, I just want you to, you just want somebody to hear you out. So, you know, writing is a good way. Just finding somebody who will just listen to you is a good way. One of the things that I recently discovered that I'm actually going to get, it's called a Buddha board. And it's basically like therapeutic painting, but you paint with water. And the way that it works is you dip your brush in the water and then you paint on the canvas. But once it dries, it disappears.
I was about to say, oh, wait. Okay. That's what I was about to say. Well, how can you paint with water?
Yeah, you dip the paintbrush in the water and then you paint on the board. But then once the water in the board is dry, it disappears. And I think that's good because when I first seen it, I can't really disclose where I saw it. When I first seen it, I tried it and I put all my problems. Okay. And I wrote it out and then it just disappeared, and like in a way it was just like, okay, that feels a little bit better.
Now I see why you said that. Yeah, I was still trying to think like, why you didn't paint nothing?
Yeah, and I literally wrote out the word all my problems and things that are stressing me. Yeah. I wrote it all out, and once it disappeared, like I don't know. I mean, I know of course it didn't disappear just like that, but it made
a relief.
Yeah, it was a relief to see the things that I know I can change, but don't change at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, you know, people, you know, y'all should get you a journal, write. You know, find somebody that'll listen to you. Do something therapeutic like painting. I've even heard yoga is a good antidepressant.
Stress relief. And now it's not for everybody. I tried yoga like once and it's not for everyone, but if it is for you, that is a stress relief. That's just because exercises, period. Mm-hmm. You could go get on the treadmill for like 20 minutes and you feel like you just feel better. Exercising is always an outlet, like with any type of problems.
Yes.
You feel better. It's
most
healthy.
Definitely.
And
it is very
it just feels good. It feels good. And speaking things into existence, like if you tell yourself what you want to do and you say it every day, I guarantee you will do it. Just like the writing a message on your mirror and seeing it every day, you're speaking it into existence.
Yes, that is right.
That does work. Like speaking from experience, it does work, you know, and just saying something that you want to do or want to change and constantly talking about it to yourself or thinking about it, like it that works as well.
Yeah,
it really does.
And that just kind of brings up another, I guess you could say, like little point in this whole discussion that we're having. Even when you depress, whatever you do, I don't care what your religion is, never lose your faith.
Yes.
do not, I beg of you guys, do not let your faith be outclouded by your situation. Mm-hmm. Even though I'm so hard on myself, I still know that everything that we go through in life is temporary. Yeah. Every situation, every problem that we go through, anything that causes depression into our life, y'all got to understand that it's temporary. It's not going to last forever. It may seem like it in that moment that it is going to last forever, or you don't know how you're going to get over it, or you don't know how the situation is going to end, but you just know you want it to end. Never lose your faith. No matter who you pray to, talk to that person, scream, yell, cry, do whatever you got to do, but you cannot lose your faith. You got to be strong.
Because a lot of people do that. Why does God hate me so much?
Yes.
Or I go to church every day. I pray every day. Why am I going through this? Why am I dealing with this? And, it's a test. 9 times out of 10.
It's definitely a test.
It is a test. If you believe in God, like a lot of times he will test your faith. Because that's even how the beginning started with the Adam and Eve situation.
Test the faith.
He will test your faith just to see how strong your belief is in him. And if you're going to listen, because he's telling you to do whatever he's telling you to do for a reason.
Yeah, and it's for a reason.
That's basically whatever you're going through.
It's for a reason.
It's for a reason. And it's to come out on top, too. That's how you got to look at it. Like, you got to defeat what you're going through. Like, you don't just want to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. That's just like, I don't know how religious anybody is that's watching this, but if any of you know who Fantasia Barrino is, which I'm pretty sure everybody knows, but if you don't know her, she was a winner of American Idol. Well, she has this song with, I think his name is Dennis Reed. She has a song with him called Necessary. I'll post a link in the comment section on all of the platforms that we are recording on today. I will post, so that way everybody can listen to it. But it's a song that I feel like everybody. It's a song that I feel like everybody. What in the world just happened? That was funny.
For those anyway, that are just joining, we have like 4 cameras.
Yeah, we got 2 Instagram accounts and we got 2 different YouTube channels going at the same time. But it's a song that they made called Necessary that Dennis Reed actually wrote. And the song pretty much says that no matter what you're going through, you are the person that you are because God took the things that you've been through in life to allow that to make you a stronger and better person. Yeah. And it's just overall that's just to say that everything that you're dealing with, everything that you're going through in life is 100% necessary.
Yeah, it's to build you. Like, and that brings back, like when we said, you grow from what you go through.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
Grow from it. Like it's building you, and it's so important to look at it that way because that way that's a way it can help you move forward too. When you know that this is something I'm going through because I need to go through it and I need to grow from it. I need to learn from it. That's so helpful mentally when you know that or when you look at it that way. Because I'm really a big person of that. Like, I really look at everything I go through is for a reason, and it's time to grow from it, build from it, move on from it. Whether it's a job change, whether you are expecting a new family member.
Yes, we got a G baby on the way.
It's a reason why everything happens. And then also, like we mentioned, if you believe in God, you should already know that he has planned your life out way before you are deciding to do whatever you're doing. So it was bound to happen anyway. But you can still grow from it and you still learn from it and you still just become a better person than you were, even if it's just a little bit. You still.
And I mean, that just goes back to, find somebody to talk to, y'all. I mean, depression is a thing that society and honestly, overall depression, not just depression, mental illnesses, period. is one thing that society refuses to acknowledge. Society refuses to talk about. And I do believe that that is the biggest problem that we have, is that we don't talk about
secretive.
It. Yeah, you know, that's something that people be so secretive about. And it's just like, don't. Yeah. Like, you don't have to be secretive about it. It doesn't have to be a secret. You know, reach out to somebody, talk to somebody about something. You know, don't. I know it's hard to just open up to people, but you gotta find something that just, even if it's so much as telling somebody, you know, oh, you know, I've been dealing with X, Y, and Z lately. Mm-hmm. That is just usually, you just say something like, you know, I've been better, or I've had better days. Even the smallest words like that, if you don't know how to start off by telling a person, you know, oh, I've been depressed, or I've been dealing with this, I've been dealing with that, you know, just something small like that can just open up that window to somebody reaching out to you saying, okay, well, do you want to talk about it? Or let's talk about it. Yeah. Sometimes it's not so much as asking people, it's so much more as telling them, well, we're going to sit down and we're going to see what I can do to help you in your situation, you know?
Yep, that's true. Because you really never know what type of knowledge the next person has until you talk to them, you know, and a lot of times you would, even at the end of the conversation, you would feel like that person was put there to talk to you purposely because of what they may say, how they might respond to what you're saying, you know, so it's good. It's good to talk about it. It's really good to talk about it. One way I would disagree with talking about it, which is something that a lot of people do.
Oh God, I feel like I know where you're going.
Social media. I don't know if you knew that. Did you? Is that what you felt?
I knew it.
Facebook, Instagram, all of that. That is not the best place to vent at all, because you're going to get so many things you don't want to hear, because it's like people lately right now, it's like people purposely get on social media to say hurtful things. To, you know, that's why they talk about that cyberbullying so much lately. Like, people really, you're behind the camera, behind the typing, whatever, you can say whatever you want. You know, you could say something that you wouldn't dare say in that person's face. So you don't want to, who's that? Oh, hey mama. So you don't want, you know, you really don't want to open up and saying how you feel about everything to social media, because that's the wrong type of crowd, and that's just realistically.
And I'm gonna agree with you on that. And the reason why I'm gonna agree with you on that is because social media nowadays, social media is not the same when it was
back in the day.
It's not at all. I don't care how you look at it. Social media is not the same.
All the way to Black Planet in MySpace.
I was going to say, wait, she lost me with Black Planet. I don't know about that.
You never been. Oh, she said she called them keyboard thugs.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they keyboard thugs.
They are.
That's exactly what they are.
You know about Black Planet? Oh, I'm old. Well, that's a whole nother subject. Okay, we'll say MySpace.
Okay, we can go with MySpace. We can definitely go with MySpace. But it's like people get on social media, they see such and such, you know, saying, oh, you know, pray for my family. The thing that, and please excuse my language, the thing that pisses me off about that, oh my God, what happened? Don't ask what happened. Yeah. Don't worry about what happened. I asked for you to pray for my family. Or I asked for you to pray for me. Sometimes when a person is depressed and you just directly go there and ask, oh, well, what happened? What's wrong? That's not what they need. Mm-hmm. That's not what they need at all. The one thing I've realized is that you don't want a person that's depressed, you don't want to force them to talk about what it is that's bothering them. Because sometimes that can tip a person over the edge.
Yeah. Allow them to come to you and say what they want to say.
Like you have to, because you don't they crazy. You don't want to directly ask them, oh, well, what's wrong? You don't want to, because sometimes that can tip them over the edge. Mm-hmm. When you're and I can say that because I understand it from both perspectives, from the person being depressed perspective and the person who want to reach out and help. Yeah. It's like when you're in that mindset and when you're feeling depressed, you don't want people to ask you what's wrong. In a way you do it, in a way you don't, but it's a way that you do that. Yeah. You know, It's a way that you ask them, you know, but you what you're mainly wanting for people is to let you know that, you know, they're there for you. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that's all a person needs when they're depressed. They just need somebody to be there. Mm-hmm. That's all they want, is for somebody to be there, you know?
Yeah, just be there for them. And now it is so hard to be there for someone that's depressed. And I'm speaking from experience. It is so hard because depending on what type of depression that person is in, what stage they're in it, you know, they still push you away no matter how much you try to be there for them. Mm-hmm. You try to comfort them. You try to invite them places, you know, they still, they don't open up, and it's hard. And, you know, I recently had to choose whether I wanted to stay this person's friend or whether I wanted to back off because it was so draining. And unfortunately, I did back off. How I feel about that?
Keep talking.
How I feel about that? It sucks. You know, I didn't want to back off, but I just felt like I could serve no purpose. Like I just was trying my hardest to be there for that person, and it's like they wouldn't really allow me. And mm-hmm. So it's hard. It is so hard trying to be there for someone that is depressed. And, you know, I think the best thing you can do for them is give them time, you know, when they're, and allow them to just have the time that they need. And when they're ready to talk back with you or come back with you, they will.
Yeah, I mean, it's a struggle trying to communicate with a person that's depressed, but to a certain extent, it's not really good to give up on them.
Yeah.
And what I mean by to a certain extent, it's like if you consistently letting a person know that you want to be there and you're
back off.
Yeah, you know that
it looks and feels so bad.
It does. It does, but at the same time, it's like you. That may what I'm about to say. It is. It's very hard, and what I'm about to say, it may contradict with a lot of things that I've said in this video. And if it does, I humbly apologize. But you can't step in the ring and fight with a person that doesn't want to fight.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, the most you can do is let a person know that you're there for them, but you can't really force them to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, and that goes back on what I said earlier. You never should try to force a person to talk about their problems if they don't really want to open up to you. Yeah. Just still let them know, you know, I understand you may not want to talk about it right now, and that's perfectly fine. But when you're ready, I'm here. And
in the situation I was in, I told that person on numerous occasions, I'm here for you whenever you need me. You know, call me. Like I would even try to pop up on the person just to, you know, make them smile, whatever. But it only became draining because of the fact that I started dealing with my own issues. Yeah, I started dealing with things that I had to deal with and face myself. And so I'm like, dang, I need a friend too now, you know? So it's hard. It's very hard.
Most definitely.
It's so hard to be there for someone that is going through something like that, you know? But you should, if you have the strength to and the ability to, you should definitely be there for them. But like we said, in a sense, we're just letting them know that you're there. You know, you don't have to force them to come out and talk about whatever it is that's bothering them. But them just knowing simply that you're there will help. That would definitely help.
Another, and this is kind of, it's on topic, but it's off topic. Another, I'm going to post, well, I've posted in my YouTube live stream in the comments. I posted the video link for Necessary by Fantasia, and then another one that I just posted is a link from the video Sad by XXX Tentacion. I think that's how you pronounce his name. If it's not, oh well, y'all know who I'm talking about. For those of you who, for those of you who don't know who he is, he's one of the new age rappers, but he was recently murdered like back in June, July, somewhere around there. And one of his songs where the video that got released after he died was Sad. And in the video, like, he shows, in my opinion, the video shows the mind of a person that battles with depression and mental illness. And it's basically he shows up at his own funeral, and at one point his body gets out of his casket, and he fights with himself. For anybody that deals with depression,
that just gave me chills.
Yeah, like you know what it feels like to deal with that constant battle every day of fighting yourself. Yeah. Nobody legit knows what it's like. Nobody legit knows what's in your mind. The only person knows is you. And I feel like this video was a very good representation of a person battling with themselves on the daily. She kind of stargazed because I got the video playing on a separate video. Yeah,
that's a mama. We do have a wide audience, okay?
Yes, we have audience. We have 4 cameras on. For those of you on Sherika's feed, y'all can follow me on Instagram at humbleman_26. And then you can also follow my YouTube page. Just look for Real Talk.
Okay.
Look for Real Talk or either Depression. Why don't we talk about it? Yes, the video is entitled Depression. Why don't we talk about it? Look it up on YouTube. It's there. That way you can join into this live feed also. But yeah, that video, like he's literally fighting himself. And like I say, a person that deals with depression understands and knows what this is like on a daily. This is, I mean, people deal with this. This is real.
Yeah. And
like I say, it's so sad that we as a society don't like to talk about it. Like, what is it? I would really love to understand it. If somebody that's watching can comment and explain it to me, I would greatly appreciate it. The thing that I don't understand is why is it that as a society, we don't like to talk about it, or why don't we talk about it? Why do we keep it secretive? And before anyone puts, because sometimes people feel like they don't have someone to go to, please don't state the obvious. Like, I want a legit answer or something similar to a legit answer as to why is something that society does not like to speak about.
Yeah.
Why? What is it about it that it's so...
I think,
like, what is it?
My opinion, I think that person feels like it's their secret. You know, they feel like it's something that they're going through that they don't really. I don't know. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's hard to come up with a direct answer for it because it's like, besides the obvious, sometimes people don't know who to talk to or how to approach the topic. Other than the obvious, what reason do we have to be secret about it? Like people don't want to be labeled. People don't want to get labeled or feel like they are being treated like they are crazy.
Okay, and Shay Jackson. Shay, how you doing, Shay? I will definitely accept that. Sometimes people don't want to be put on that label, but then that also I feel like will go hand in hand with the whole don't vent to social media thing, because some people will get on social media to see you going through something and be like, oh man, she crazy. Yeah. That girl crazy. She all on Facebook talking about how she gonna kill herself. Like, that girl crazy. Sometimes that it's not people.
Those are signs.
Yeah, it's a sign.
And I understand that not wanting to be labeled or even just not wanting people knowing what you're going through, and like, I don't know. It's such a sticky topic. It's so touchy, and it gets, it can get really deep because there's different stages of depression, and like, you can really go through it. Go through it. And then there's some that just deal with it just a little bit.
Depression. Okay. So, for our viewers, another viewer said, depression is just like any other disease. It needs to be researched and studied. Once that truly happens, people will feel better about opening up. And I definitely agree.
Yeah, it does get looked over because like she said, you'll get labeled something else before depression.
Yeah.
Like you'll get labeled anything else. And it depends on how that person is allowing it to make them act. Mm-hmm. You know, they might act out and look crazy. So that's where that label will come from. Or they might, I don't know, like for myself, I don't think any of my friends knew or know if I'm going through anything unless I tell them.
Same here.
Because I kind of mask it, and in my head I'm trying to move forward by myself. I feel like I can't get help. I feel like there's no help out there. Like,
and honestly, for me, my friends that I talk to on the daily are my friends that just know me and know how I am. Like, on my Snapchat, you know how like I was taking a break from Snapchat and you messaged me and you asked me what was going on.
Yes.
It's the small things like that people that really just pay attention to you and know you, little things like that where they notice a slight change in behavior. They know something's not right.
Yeah.
You know, they know something's different. Mental illness is quickly misunderstood. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I think that's because it gets acted out so many different ways. Like as far as like rappers and stuff like that, like to my opinion, when they start to go on and like tattooing on their face or even singing about dying and all that kind of stuff, you know, I think that that's one of the forms that really get overlooked. Mm-hmm. and it's very misunderstood. Like, okay, of course, you might think they're just following what everybody else is doing, but it has to be a little bit more to why you would get tatted on your face.
To me, to a certain extent, stuff like that, it's not, it's definitely attention. It's nothing like trying to follow the latest trend. Like, first of all, who in their right mind want to be walking around with tattoos all on their face?
Yeah, and it's what they get.
It's
always something it's not really positive. Like it's always something that's, I don't want to say crazy looking, but crazy looking. Like it's always something, you know, and those are cry out for help, but it's misunderstood and it gets looked at different.
I agree with what she said. I agree with that.
Yeah.
You should read that out loud.
She said they are dealing with something, and that is usually their outlet without being judged to a certain extent. Yeah, that's true.
And I agree with Shay's comment, and the reason why I do agree is because sometimes they know they'll get judged. Like, bro, this man out of his mind. This fool when he got a tattoo on his face. Mm-hmm. I guess so. To a certain extent, or in a way, they make light of the situation.
Yeah.
Versus actually dealing with it head on. Sometimes it's easier for people to deal with stuff like that. It's easier for people to get through situations and get through depressed moments with making light of the situation. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes that's a coping mechanism for me. You know, whatever bothering me. Just like recently, my friend's death anniversary just recently passed, and I had put a post on Facebook, you know, just honoring and in memory of her. And somebody, and I was real, you know, sad. You know, I was honestly crying when I made the post. But somebody commented on there and they said something. And what they said, it made me laugh. You know, making light of the situation. Yeah. You know, just remembering something that she would say. Which, knowing her, if you knew her, she would say something that's completely off the wall, and it'd just be like, "Oh my Lord, I cannot believe this girl just said that." You know, it'll be something like that. So sometimes it is good to make light of certain situations when you deal with depression. Now, if you texting a friend that's depressed, and you say something like, "Go, you so stupid, go kill yourself," like that's not making light of the situation. Because sometimes a person can take that and be like, you know what, you sure right, I should just go ahead and end it all. You know, you don't want to, you have to be cautious with your words when you encouraging or talking someone through a depressed situation, because sometimes it may not be necessarily how you act towards them. It may be what you say. Mm-hmm. You know, you got to understand and know trigger words. You know, it's one of the things that you got to know. You know, be careful what you say and how you say things to people.
Let's see. Share Cakes said, as a mom, I know we can hide it well. We don't want our kids to think that's how you deal with life. If I stray from my regular self, you wouldn't even know.
That's true.
Yeah. And I think, we said that too. We have mentioned that. What did I say about that?
Yeah, Shay, you're right. Somebody else come in and said the littlest things could just drive them to the edge, and that's true. Yeah. That's just like I'm gonna talk about something, and I know it's probably going to make a lot of people upset. A lot of people may disagree with what I say. Unfortunately, my live feed finna end on my Instagram, but I'm still gonna be rolling live on YouTube as well as on Sherika's Instagram account or whatever. But continuing on, like not because I have to let them know, but continuing on the show 13 Reasons Why.
And that was a popular
That show brings up a lot of controversy. It brings up a lot of opinions. The claws come out, the fists get to swinging. Like it's a real push and pull topic. But me personally, I'm going to say this. I honestly feel like that the message that they were trying to portray in 13 Reasons Why was very good. And this is the reason why I say this. For those of you who don't know, I do work at a school. And one of the things that we are focusing on is mental health and, you know, being able to find different ways and resources to reach out to kids or to better understanding kids when they don't directly tell you that something's wrong or directly tell you that something's going on or directly tell you that they need somebody to talk to. Well, if you've watched 13 Seasons Why, in the end of the first season, it really highlighted on the end of it, it showed where Hannah Baker went to the counselor and talked to the counselor. And she talked to the counselor right before she went home and committed suicide. Well, me personally, I think that with a lot of people saying that with what Shay said, I'm sorry, I had lost my train of thought. With Shay said the little things could just drive them over to the edge. I feel like that in a way, there was something that the counselor could have done that could have helped her and that could have prevented it. It's just that thing of just being careful of what you say and what you say to people and how you say it, because I don't remember the context, the direct context of what he was saying, but in a way he was just telling her that she shouldn't. It's nothing that she should just be worried about. In a way, I can't directly remember what the conversation was like, but whatever it was, it's what he said to her that made her feel like she didn't have anybody and made her feel like she had to do what she was already contemplating on doing. You know, so when you talking to somebody, talking them through depression and helping them and talking them through that situation, I beg of y'all, please be careful and be light with your words. Yeah. Again, it's the smallest thing that can make a person say, okay, well, I know I'm making the right decision, or this is the right choice for me to go ahead and do it. Like, you just got to be careful with your words.
Yeah, that's true. You do. Especially if you're aware that they're depressed, you know, because some people can't hide it well. But if you are aware and you know, take it easy with them. You know, it's so hard. And that's part of why we agreed to do this topic first, because like we mentioned earlier, no one talks about it. No one wants to talk about it. Yeah. And, but it's so important to talk about. It's so important to talk about and to feel like you have an outlet to express how you're feeling, you know, to help you get past it. Mm-hmm. Because you don't want it to go into any other kind of thoughts. Like,
yeah, you don't want your feelings to be projected into actions. Right. This one of those case scenarios where you don't have to put your words into actions. You don't want a person to put their words into actions when they're depressed. So I mean, like she said, this is something that we wanted to talk about because it is a scary topic to talk about. It is hard for people to talk about it, and it's also a sticky topic to talk about. So again, just find somebody, anybody. I'll call her in a heartbeat. She probably don't be wanting to hear it, but you know what? As a friend, she want to hear y'all. She said, "I want her. I want her show. I can't wait to But as a friend, I know that if I need her, I can call her. I know it's nothing, and it's vice versa. If she need me, she knows she can call me, and I'm gonna be there for her. Just even if it's just to listen. And most of the time we I don't know if we ever noticed. Sometimes we do that, and we just listen and don't just really say much.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, and I mean sometimes that's all you need, just for somebody to listen. Yeah,
and that's why at the end of this, if you just happen to be someone that you don't have anyone to talk to. You don't have anyone that you feel like you can confide in. We are going to list some free and confidential services that are 24 hours a day. The numbers that we list, you can call 24 hours. Yeah. And we brought that up. She said it was never a big thing in the Black community.
Yes. And I'm going to be honest. I really wanted to say that. I really wanted to attack it for what it was, say it that way. But I didn't want nobody to feel like, you know how people is in society. They'll say, oh, well, just Black people don't deal with depression. That's why I was more broad about it. But specifically in the Black community, it is extremely rare that you find us talking about it and dealing with it head on.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And that was another reason why we wanted to talk about it, and bring it up. And that's why we started letting people know, prepare to talk about it today, because we want to talk about it. We want to talk about the real deal, like why you go through it and how can you get past it.
Yeah, that's why we call in our talk show Real Talk, because it's going to be the real deal. It's going to be the real talk, Yeah.
And like I was saying, I'm going to list some numbers at the end, different numbers that are there. Each number is 24 hours. You can call whenever you want to. And this is, like I said, if you don't have someone that you could talk to or confide into, you can call one of these numbers. And I also took it upon myself to find different places that you can also go. It's just two that I'm going to list. But if you need a different location, it's on psychologytoday.com. But at the end, I will list all the numbers and the places that we have. Just and that's, like I said, if you don't have someone that you already know that you can talk to.
Yeah, definitely.
Aw, thank you. And I couldn't wait to have a platform to talk about stuff, to try to bring more positive things into it. Like everyone is, to me, like everyone lately is just followers. Everyone is just so consumed in looking their best. But what about how are you mentally? Like, what are you really going through? Like,
yes. Oh God, yes. And I'm a living testimony of it. I'm one of those people. I deserve an Academy Award. Like, I need an Academy Award. I need an Image Award. I need a Grammy Award, because I'm one of those people, when I'm depressed or when I'm feeling a certain type of way, you're not going to know. Because I will stand in front of you knowing all hell is breaking loose back here. But up here, you like, damn, Jeremy got it all together. No, I don't. Jeremy don't have it together, unfortunately.
And I usually prefer to cry alone. So,
yeah.
So it's like, you're not...
seriously.
I don't even know what it would take for you to see me crying. Like, I would have to already be crying and you catch me crying. But like,
same here. Like, you legit got to catch me crying, or either you and see how most people usually catch me. They'll call me and I'll be either in the midst of crying and trying to stop myself, before I answer the phone. And then they're like, what's wrong? And it's like, damn, they caught me.
It's only one person that off back always knows something is wrong with me, and that's my mom. She always knows. I can never hide it. Drives me crazy.
That's parents in general. Because my mama knows.
They give you a time frame.
That's why I ended mine, because they gave you a time frame.
Okay, guys. So it's ending. So we will be back with more topics to talk about. And I'm going to list those numbers too.
Yes. The Instagram feeds unfortunately have ended, but for those of you who are just tuning in to YouTube, welcome. We have definitely been attacking the topic of depression. We've had some very good conversation, but just, hop in. We're going to continue the conversation going on. If you have anything, questions, comments, suggestions, leave them in the comment section. What's going on? We got Tommy in the house. What's going on, Tommy?
Hello, Tommy.
But yeah, what continuing on, like a lot of times people don't have nobody to talk to. So we definitely gonna make sure that we leave plenty of numbers. These 24-hour numbers, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All these numbers are 24 hours. And I guess we should probably list them versus saying them. You think?
Yeah, we'll have them in the comment section of both of our YouTube feeds, so that way you guys can see the resources. But depression. It's hard, y'all. It's hard. And like I've said so many times in this video, like I encourage y'all, no matter who you is, no matter where you come from, find somebody to talk to about it. It's hard enough
it's important
to deal with depression in general, but not having anyone around you to comfort you, or not having anybody that you can just talk to, just a vent, not even just get into specifics, just let everything out. Everybody doesn't have that, but with the resources and the numbers that we're going to have listed after the feed ends, like we really hope you guys take heed to those and actually use the resources out there. And even if you don't want to call one of those numbers, if you feel a little more comfortable with calling one of us or emailing one of us, just from watching the YouTube video, feel free. Like I say, I'm a people person. I don't mind talking to people. I know what it's like to deal with depression. I know what it feels like to feel like you don't have anybody, but I also know what it feels like to overcome it every time. Of course, every time it's not going to be as easy, but you got to push. You got to push it. When I say by push, I don't just mean physically push yourself through, but you got to push. You got to pray until something happens. That also goes back on that whole thing about faith. Don't lose your faith when you're dealing with depression. Like, you can't. You got to hang in there. You got to hang on in there. I'm not going to be singing on these feeds, y'all. Y'all might catch me slipping once or twice, but I'm not going to be singing on these feeds.
I shouldn't do that.
But oh god.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but we've been on here for an hour now. To the people that has been watching the whole hour, I really, really, really appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart for watching this video. To
especially
the people
that to be our first, first time.
I honestly feel like this went great for the first.
Yeah, video. It did. Like,
I feel like it went real great for the first video
across like the board. Like,
yeah, but we got numbers. Fine. We got a few numbers.
Thank you.
But
comments.
To the people that's been watching, thank you. We appreciate y'all for watching. For the people that just joined in, we appreciate y'all for watching too. If you want to see more and you want to hear more, not just on depression, because we may do another topic or another session on depression. We're going to try to switch it up every now and then, do something serious, do something a little broad, like the amazing Kanye West. But we're not going to discuss how amazing Kanye West is.
We do want to start a podcast.
Yes. We are Tommy.
Said that.
Tommy, we are definitely looking into getting some equipment and starting podcasts. And that's another thing. If there's anybody that's watching, if you have equipment and you for like a podcast setup and you want to help us get that started, you want to help us get started to do a few podcasts, or even if you want to join us and doing a podcast, and we use your equipment. You know, we're open to having guests on the Real Talk.
Yes.
Because it's real talk, and there's only one way to have real talk, by being real.
Yeah.
You know? So like I say, for the people that's just joining in, you know, thank y'all for joining. Thank everybody for watching and joining. To see more, to hear more, make sure you hit the subscribe button on both of our YouTube channels.
Yes.
Sis, you got anything to say?
Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. You know, I couldn't wait I literally woke up ready to do this. So I'm proud. I'm proud of the outcome.
Yes. And that's because we've been wanting this for weeks.
Yeah.
Months. We've been talking about this since summer.
Yes.
We've been talking about it since summer. And we finally did it. You know, we definitely appreciate the support. We hope that you guys, like I say, subscribe to both of our YouTube channels, share the video, share. Yes. You know, somebody that hears this, it may be somebody dealing with something, and it may help somebody.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we really want. Yeah, you never know. We want to be able to reach out and help people in need. So once again, thank you guys for joining. This is officially episode 1 of many of the Real Talk. We in there like swimwear. We out. We love y'all. Appreciate it.
Good evening, everyone. I am Ron Delirious here with the Culture Ride. I am the hostess with the most, bringing out 3 incredible, wonderful musicians.